President-elect Donald Trump offering the post of National Security Advisor to retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Critics have accused Flynn of stoking Islamophobia with tweets like this one, quote, "Fear of Muslims is rational. Please forward this to others. The truth fears no questions." Our next guest, a Muslim and new U.S. citizen, says that attitude is not helpful, especially in the fight against terror. Dr. Qanta Ahmed is the author of In the Land of Invisible Women, and she joins us now. Doctor, great to see you here. So, fear of Muslims is rational. Let's start there. What do you think about that?
Honestly, it's rubbish. It's absolutely not helpful. Are we now, as Americans, are our military leaders going to fear 1/4 of humanity? That makes no sense. We're going to be afraid of 1.7 billion people. I wouldn't even consider it fear. What we do need to be concerned about is Islamism. And that's what I'm hoping Trump's administration would be able to focus on.
You have always drawn a deep distinction between Islam and Islamism, which is the more radical strain of it. Let me play for you something that General Flynn said, because he doesn't seem to be drawing that distinction. So let me play for you what he said at a conference this summer.
Islam is a political ideology. It is a political ideology. It definitely hides behind this notion of it being a religion. I don't see a lot of people screaming Jesus Christ with hatchets or machetes or rifles, shooting up clubs or hatcheting, literally axing families on a train. Okay, so it's like cancer, and it's like a malignant cancer, though, in this case, that has metastasized.
What's your response?
The first precept that he makes is completely false. Islamism is a political ideology. Islam is a faith, and nobody needs to know that more clearly than our military leaders. And that's a very important distinction. By not making the distinction, we actually shelter Islamism. Remember, that's the totalitarian ideology that does seek to dismantle world order, which masquerades as Islam, as countless Muslim majority countries will tell you.
So he's melding the two. And I know that you fear that for a military leader, and certainly the National Security Advisor, because there are so many Muslims in our armed services.
That's one, so many Muslims in our armed services. The second is, don't forget, we have American special forces now in Iraq alongside Muslim armies from Iraq and Iran, in fact, combating ISIS. Now, how do they digest this? It's absolutely not useful, but it is a golden nugget if you are an Islamist, if you are proposing and if you are supporting radical and violent Islamism or radical institutional Islamism. This is a gift from God. And that's the kind of opportunity. I'm not here to berate the new administration. My job as a citizen is to try and serve them to the best of my ability. Muslims like me can explain the distinction and the values of making that distinction.
How will you enlighten President-elect Trump and now his National Security Advisor about what they should be saying?
What I would like to see is for President-elect Trump to succeed where President Obama failed, to separate the religion of Islam from the political ideology, to engage with America's Muslims, 3.3 million of us. The whole world is looking to see how America treats the Muslims within her borders. And that is something he could start off by. He's very good at rallies. He's very good at engaging the public. Think of the forum where Muhammad Ali had a funeral. The kind of diverse American community that came together, multi-religious, but also diversity within Islam. That's only possible in the United States.
So you would like to see President-elect Trump have one of those rallies in front of a Muslim audience and talk directly to them?
I think, where would be a great place? Dearborn, Michigan, home to one of the largest Muslim communities in the United States, where let's give him a chance. Let's engage with him. Let's hear he's our president, not just presidents for everyone in the nation except Americans who are Muslim or Muslim migrants here. The other thing is, I'd like him to bring intellects to the table that are real scholars in Islamism. I'd like him to empower intellectual exchange in universities of political Islamism with Muslim scholars, not funded by patrons of Islamism like Iran, Turkey, or Saudi Arabia. Those are the kinds of things he could do.
President-elect Trump had talked about a ban on Muslims. That would have banned you from coming to this country, practicing medicine, becoming a U.S. citizen, and yet you're still open to working with him. I mean, what did the ban mean to you?
The ban was astonishing in many regards, but I feel he may not have been adequately informed. How do we ban Muslims that make their homes here from 68 different nations, or 183 nationalities that are homes to Muslims? How do we do that? And to me, I feel America's made such an incredible investment in my education, which I took to Muslim countries and shared with Muslim patients and physicians.
You went to Saudi Arabia to work after you were educated here, then you came back and are now working here.
But when you work in the Muslim world, you represent America, and they were just so delighted to see a highly trained woman help their family member get sick. That's a great asset. We haven't really engaged post 9/11 America's soft power. We've kind of forgotten that we have tremendous soft power, intellectual exchange, academic exchange, building an intelligentsia. We're not going to be able to defeat Islamism with registries and isolationism, borders and camps. That's not going to do it. What that will do is ghettoize Muslims in America, and we know what happens because we can look to Europe.
If President-elect Trump calls, you are prepared to talk to him about all of this?
It would be my honor to share my knowledge.